Hello, everybody. What do you know? We've got technical difficulties today, but that's okay. We're figuring it out. Rich will be on in a second. In the meantime, really excited to get you guys up to date on what's happening in Shillitlandia. All right. First of all, have you guys seen the Squid Games situation? You know, it's very interesting. I was on a Satoshi Saturday with our friend Robert, and we were talking about the Squid Games token and how it was a little suspicious. There was a link on the coin market cap because we were Shillit app, the Shillit token, the SHILL token was below and above the Skid Games token. And I mean, it was growing like huge, a ridiculous amount of money went into this token, but there were some red flags. And we talked about that on the show of, hey, Richard, of the Squid Games token, how there was just a couple little red flags. Anyway, I just thought I'd talk about, the whole, I don't know if you saw it, but the whole fraudulent thing with the Squid Games. It was like, holy cow. So this is I'm going to actually show a little video, a GIF video that one of our members, Raj, made, because this is why Shillit exists, guys. So we can help you guys find the red flags for the frauds so that you don't have the same miserable situation that, people are having. I mean, there's this one guy posted, he lost his life savings. I mean, let's be real honest. First of all, do not put your life savings into crypto. Please don't do it. Okay. Second of all, just be wise and do your own research. Anyway, so Richard, welcome. We were having
Karita, how are you? Sorry about that. Technical issues trying to get into the account. So
I know it was, I'm not even going to diss any other social platform, but we were having some technical difficulties. Well, happy Tuesday. Welcome. First of all, Richard, I hope I know you had a little bit of a mishap over there on the other side. How's that going with your flooding situation?
Yeah. So sort of came downstairs about 6 on Saturday morning, and the whole downstairs was flooded. Not hugely deeply, just a few centimeters, but enough to deposit mud and rubbish all over the ground floor. Luckily, we have stone floors, and most of the furniture sits on legs, so the sort of damage to stuff was sort of limited, but it just took a bit of clearing up, honestly. And fortunately, it doesn't smell too bad, so we got lucky, really. But yeah, a lot better now. We're nearly back to normal.
Oh, good. Well, I'm so glad to hear. I've been flooded before. I mean, I lived in Costa Rica. It floods a lot there, so I'm glad you're doing well. And welcome to the show today. I'm really excited to shoot the shillit with you. So first of all, I met Richard through the amazing group that I talk about, you guys, called the Thrive Tribes, the community of change makers that want to get together globally, make change for the positive. And because of that amazing community, I found my space in the Shillit family, and it has really helped me grow personally as a human, as a woman, and I started Shoot the Shillit, which is awesome. We love the show, we love where it's going, and I'm really honored to have Richard on here. So Richard, what really inspires me about Richard and what he does is he helps people in the DeFi and the homeschooling, and as a parent, currently my son is in school. I just have to say I am still encouraging my child to stand up for his freedoms in school. And so he chooses to not wear a mask. We won't have to get on that topic of my opinion of things. However, I'm proud to say here live that my son is mask-free at school. Anyway, but I personally have tried and failed at homeschooling. I'm going to admit that. It has not been my strong thing because I haven't had a lot of, first of all, as a single mom, financial. It's hard as hell to be, financially free to be able to spend that quality time with your kid to homeschool. First of all, I have a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Boy, There's not much I can say about that other than he's 13-year-old. So to try and homeschool a 13-year-old and try to, make financial freedom abundance is very challenging. So this is why I'm really excited to have you on to share about what you do and teach us more about DeFi and homeschooling. So Richard, I'm going to pass it over to you and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I got into crypto about 4 years ago. Just really like most people at that time, and I just bought a few coins and held on to them. Didn't really have too much of a clue what it was all about, but could see prices were kind of going up, and thought, well, okay, let's kind of jump on this gravy train, and then kind of promptly lost interest for a couple of years and forgot all about them, just left them sitting in wallets. And to be fair, back then there wasn't an awful lot else you could do with your crypto other than trading. So the DeFi space didn't really exist at that time. So, not as we know it now anyway, with all the opportunity that's out there. So anyway, sort of fast forward a few years, last year, I had my own event management business. COVID saw the end of that. Basically, I'd had it for 15 years. So that was a bit of a blow. I started basically looking back to crypto again, thought, well, okay, maybe there's something I can do here while I'm unable to work. Let's have a look at crypto and DeFi. And I got into something called MTI, which some people may have heard of, and that basically didn't end well. The guy that ran the company ran off with about 20,000 Bitcoin about a few days before Christmas last year. So that was not fun, and that was, like your guy, sort of quite a bit of my life savings. So I thought, okay, I need to get educated here because I can see that there's money to be made, and I need to figure out how. So I got in touch with Sean Maloney at Digital Business Masters, who I knew anyway. I'd known him for about 5 years, and sort of booked on one of his courses, the blockchain assets course, and then basically went into his inner circle and got mentored and took some other courses and bits and pieces. And about that same time, we decided to take our little buyout school. So I've got 3 kids. I've got an 18-year-old daughter who lives with her mum. But like your son, Karita, she's not worn a mask through this whole thing. So, I'm very proud of her. And I've got a 6-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. And the 6-year-old, we decided because of the situation at the moment, just to pull him out of school last Christmas. And, it was kind of then that it hit home, how hard it is, even with 2 of us, both parents are here, to homeschool, to try and make a living. And that, generally, if you want to homeschool, you've got to give up an income. And 40, 50 years ago, this would not have been a problem because we could live on one salary in those days. And of course now the economy's been designed essentially so that you can't. And so I thought, well, okay, what can I do here with, I've sort of been learning a whole load of good stuff. So I set up a Facebook group just called the Homeschool DeFi Club, just with the aim of helping educate parents who were homeschooling in the DeFi space, or parents that wanted to homeschool but couldn't because they couldn't afford to, in DeFi, and to teach them, to educate them as to how to make money in this space. And over time, that's kind of evolved because, as I say, I'm part of the DBM stable of coaches. There's nearly 20 of us now. We run free workshops. I mean, there must be 30 or 40 free workshops each week now, on all sorts of different facets of the blockchain and crypto. I run a couple of beginners ones, sort of introducing people into the space. And then another one sort of for people that are new to the space, talking about passive income, because that's what we want. So the sort of platforms that we're looking for and that we're promoting within the group are the type that are simple to get into, because you're talking about people that maybe don't have a lot of experience in the crypto space, easy to set up. And then when they're running, there's not an awful lot you have to do with them. They just run quietly in the background and generate income. And so that's really where we are. And then that sort of through Sean, I met obviously Jay, and got involved with Thrive Tribes and became luminary leader of the Freedom Families sort of tribe. So partly because of what I was doing with the crypto, and sort of because it's about empowering families to be able to have choices and to have the freedom to make those choices. And that all starts with the finances. And if you can empower people financially, then they're free. They can choose to home educate or not to home educate, but they have the choice, and that's what's important.
And that's a key factor, you know, is having the choice, because like you said, our industry or our society now is built to destroy us, to make us dependent on the system, to be centralized, right? And that's what is again, as a single mom, that's something that has been a struggle for me, for sure, because I really tried to do the homeschooling thing while I mean, when I was in Costa Rica, I was building a kombucha empire, and trying to homeschool and working 20 hours a day, you know, like marketing, distributing, producing all of the kombucha, and it was like it really took me to my knees, and that's why I had to walk away I lost everything. I mean, it's a great story, but the point is unfortunately, because of my desire to grow a business, and I've always been, you know, an entrepreneur. I've always been, I know the value of working for yourself, and I know how important it is to get out of the system. But the trying to balance that, and you know, like my situation with my son, like he unfortunately suffered as a homeschool kid while I was trying to build an empire, and it all crashed down, so I had to move back to Canada. I mean, no regrets. It is what it is. Great learning experience, but I didn't want to do that again, because people are like, why don't you build another kombucha business? I mean, I make like, I will be completely humble, I make the freaking best kombucha I've ever tasted. That's me being humble. Okay. Zero ego about my kombucha, but in all honesty, you know, like, people have asked me like, Karita, I want to buy your kombucha. And I'm like, I do not want to go through what I went through in Costa Rica. I don't want my kid to suffer with me not being able to be present for him. And I mean, I'm not the best mom in the world. Trust me, I own that. But I want him to know that I'm here, you know, and I want him to know that even though I'm, you know, trying to build a business and doing stuff, I can still be here for a hug. I can still be, you know, like in his teenageness, whatever he needs. So but it comes back to being able to have, you know, for the single parents or even the couples, you know, it's not designed, our society, like you said, is not designed for us to have a one income, you know, mom stay home and daddy make the bucks, or vice versa, or whatever, right? So
no, I mean, you know, well, first up, none of us are perfect parents, so, you know, we all have to own that.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because it makes me feel better.
So you know, that's the first thing. And you know, there are days when I get busy doing what I'm doing, and you know, little boy doesn't see much of me, and you know, my wife sort of she's full on with what she's up to as well. So you know, life is what it is, and we make our choices, don't we? And you know, you sort of have to sort of live with that. But it is just so important for people to have these choices. It really is. And you know, there's quite a few single parents in the group that I run, and the thing it's giving them is a bit of hope. They can see light at the end of the tunnel, whereas before there was nothing. It's like, you're going to have to work 3 jobs, look after your kid. You know, at least now they can see, well, okay, it might take a little bit of time, but I can get there. It's achievable. It's doable. And it's about sort of breaking it down into those steps. And the first one of those steps is just purely for people to get educated, you know, and that was one of the things I wanted to bring across, was knowing not to make the mistake I did. You know, I sort of jumped into something because my sister was in it, and, you know, just,
Oh yeah. I lost 5 ETH on one project.
Did you? Yeah. I lost the whole Bitcoin.
The Burex.
So,
Burex bullshit. Anyway.
I lost the whole Bitcoin. So, you know, it was
that's more painful than me.
Hurt. Yeah. So, you know, and it's basically just to help people not make those mistakes, get educated, learn about what's out there, you know, to have a plan, you know, to know how to you know, set your goals, then figure out what assets you have and what you can do with them, and then to have a strategy to you know, employ and to do things like, diversify. Don't stick all your eggs in one basket. Don't put in more money than you can comfortably afford to lose. If you're losing sleep over the fact you've got this money in the platform, you've put too much in. And stuff
absolutely.
like that. And it's just the real basics. But whilst it's obvious when you're in here, if you've not done it before, none of it's obvious.
Oh, I know it. And that's the thing. And this is, I came into crypto when I was in Mexico last year, because I like to follow rules. Anyway, so I went to Mexico because I was trying to, I had this beautiful vision of starting a self-sustainable community. I had this big project growing. It was beautiful. I'm down in Mexico. I'm trying to, make the progress, find the land. Well, here's one, little mini situation. I kind of needed money to buy the land, right? So, but while I was down there, nothing was working for me. Like, just nothing was working out. So I'm like, okay, universe, God, whatever, source energy is telling me this is not what I need to do in this moment. And I'm like, well, then what the hell am I supposed to do? Because I know I'm supposed to help people. I know I'm supposed to do something as a change maker, as someone who's trying to, help with our freedoms and all that junk, but I didn't know what I was supposed to do. But what I did hear, and I kept hearing, is like, and it's that voice, that voice that has not led me wrong, kept saying crypto, 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 crypto. And I'm like, I don't know jack squat about crypto. Like, what am I supposed to do? So then, like you, I jump into crypto. I get back into Canada. I jump in. I'm like, oh, I'll just buy some Ethereum. Okay, great. I had lots of Ethereum, for me, So, and I'm just like, I don't have that much Ethereum anymore, but it's coming anyway. But I went into projects, I was the greed factor, really, the FOMO, the hype really messed me up, because the uneducated choices that I was making, especially when it comes to the pre-sales and stuff here in the Telegram world. Oh my gosh, it's like FOMO, you click the wrong link, you put your money in the wrong thing, and yet you're like, where the hell is my tokens?
Yep.
So, I'm sure we've all done that one. So I mean, that's why I was so drawn to Alessio's vision, because when he, first of all, we came together in the Thrive Tribes because we all have a vision. We have a bigger picture. We want to save the world, in whatever way we can. And I was really drawn to Alessio because I just knew he had something that I wanted to be with, because I listened to my gut, I'm listening to my gut and that little voice that talks to me a little more. And it was saying, Alessio. So, and I have zero regrets on joining the Shillit team. I mean, and it was Alessio coming to me saying, hey, Karita, like, I want you to be a part of the team. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. So, and I say that because I want to take 100% responsibility that I am not a crypto pro. I'm not. And, people are like, well, why should we listen to you? It's like, well, because I'm here, I'm honest, I'm transparent, but I bring in people like yourself, like Sean Maloney, like people who are more educated, more experienced, know what I don't. And to bring you guys to the show, to the team, to whatever, so that we can all benefit from others' experiences, past, good or bad, education, and guide people, for example, to your program, to your Facebook group, to whatever, so that they can start somewhere,
But you said something quite important back there. It's about the integrity. Basically, it's got to be done with integrity. You've quite honestly say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm honest and I want the best for people. And that's basically what we want. That's why we're involved in Thrive Tribe. It's why we're doing what I'm doing and what you're doing with crypto, is to help people and to try and get them to a better place. And I'm like you, with the Homeschool DeFi Club and with Freedom Families, I really finally found my niche after about 50 years on the planet. So it's taken a while.
Few more than me.
I think so. A lot more, I suspect. yeah, so and and people do see that. They see that you're honest. It does actually shine through when you actually genuinely want to help people. You're not just there to rip them off. You're not just there to make a commission out of them. You're not marketing them the next shiny thing. When you're actually genuinely trying to set them on the right path to help themselves and to financial freedom. And I think the MLMs, the multi-level marketers, have kind of ruined this space to a degree. They really have. It's all about selling people a dream without any substance. Or they'll sell you something, but you might have to wait 5 or 10 years to see a return on it, and it's just it's not the way it should be done. People generally, if they need cash flow, they need it now.
And you made a really good point, because I've been in the multi-level marketing industry off and on for I think since my 20s. And, I always saw the next best thing. And I always saw, this epic product that will change your life, And I was one of those that, I had the side business, I had my main business, I had my job, like whatever it took. And I always wanted to grow something that could help people. But one thing that I, finally I left that. Now I just buy the products that I like, and I don't push them to anyone, because some of them got great products.
Got no friends left now.
I know. Like last night, I just signed up with another product because I really like their products. They have the best cleaning products, and they're like non-toxic. So I'm like, okay, because my girlfriend's like, oh, let's go. Here I am. I'm like, okay, just so you know, I've been using these products for like eons. But anyway, but the point is I said to her, I'm like, I'm done with the MLM. I'm done with the network marketing, because I don't want to push products to people. I don't want to have to like call you up, say, did you get your monthly order? I believe in the passive income possibility. And, I see the big picture, but at the end of the day, it's like, even if you come in and you work really hard, but you're down at the bottom, the guy at the top's still going to make a boatload of money.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with that, So this is one thing I love about what we're doing, like in the Shillit family, in the education that you're providing. It's like you're sharing something that people can come and take and use and benefit and help them. And absolutely. You don't have to beg them. Say, here we are.
And they have the choice.
Exactly.
They have the choice. They can come to you and they can listen to what you're saying. They can go and do their own thing. It's not about pushing anything on anybody. It's about saying, okay, we're here. This is what we do. If you like it, come along, listen. And if you don't, perfectly fine. And I always say to people when we're looking at different platforms and what have you, it's like, well, okay, I've looked at platforms, and I've basically sort of the numbers have stacked up and everything looks okay. But if in my gut it's not felt right, I walk away from it, and it's that, and that's what we say to people. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. Just walk away. We're not here to push stuff at you. Exactly. We'll suggest things that can make you money. If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Totally. And if you're not passionate about a project, that's the thing that I've really found. If you're not super passionate about something, then it will crash.
Exactly.
When you lose passion, when you're not having fun. This is why I really tried to make, in our Telegram group, and when I'm on live, to be fun, to be happy, because there's, like I've said before, there's way too many stale people in the financial industry, and it's like you're listening to them and you're like, shoot me now. And I am a freaking unicorn. What can I say, guys? I like to be original and different. And I keep it like as unprofessionally professional as possible.
Exactly. And it's true. I mean, some things in the space can be a bit dry. I mean, I can see people start to glaze over and I try and explain what masternoding is, But the fact is, it earned me 10% profit last month.
Well, okay, we'll be definitely be talking about that, because I want to be learning. Is that the helium thing?
No, that's completely different. It's completely different. So, cool. I mean, helium is that's basically where you have the sort of like a little box in your home, and you're helping provide internet locally, and then you get paid through that. Master noding or noding is basically where you rent a node, which is, on the blockchain you have nodes, they confirm transactions, and a transaction has to be confirmed, by multiple nodes. And as the transaction passes through, there are kind of fees. So the node earns from transaction fees, and then if you're renting the node, you earn a proportion of those fees back. So you rent the node, you put in a certain amount of money, you rent the node, and then you take the profits each month. And literally, once you set it, like 5 minutes to set up, and once it's off, you don't need to touch it. It just does its thing.
That's just freaking amazing.
Yeah, and it's so simple, and it's trying to get this across to people, isn't it? Because I understand that people are wary about scams and such in this space. And this is what
taking notes, just so you know.
What we're trying to do is create a bit of trust, isn't it? And show that there is integrity in the space, and that people can be trusted. And try and give people a reason.
I know, shocker, isn't
it?
Yeah. Okay, so I will definitely, we're going to be putting this a link to you in this master node thing you do, Hickey, because I have been so personally, I've seen the messages with that, and I'm going to be super honest. I have not spent the time to learn about it, but I'm going to now, because it's super important that I learn what you're doing, because I'm me likey. And I'm actually, I actually just inherited a nice faster computer. So that was my dog, my shite computer, my dog moved my son's plate. Anyway, teenagers. So my shite computer is actually a master node for a blockchain that Alessio has set up. That we are, so it's right now, there's no value to the token yet, but I'm mining, like I've been mining. So if people want to know about that, definitely we need more master nodes. We're growing that. So it's called Unity, the Unity blockchain. And I'm telling you, man, that Alessio guy, he's freaking smart. What can I say?
There's nothing he can't do, honestly. Just
I know.
And it's the speed at which stuff appears.
It's like, for people who don't know who Alessio is like, and I put him on a pedestal because I work with this guy every single day. First of all, he's humble. He is so friggin' smart. He's just a beautiful human being that has like super positive energy, wants to help change the world in a positive way. And he is just like, you give him an idea or a thought, and it's like, boom, he's made it. And you're like, what? It's like, and this is how Shillit was born. Shillit was born from a thought that him and Jamie or Jay were talking about, and there was some input from other people, and then boom, the next week Alessio's like, look what I did. So I just have to, put him on a bit of a pedestal because I adore this man. I love working with him.
He's a great guy, honestly.
Amazing guy. And the fact that he has like, his ego is like no ego. I mean, it's just a beautiful experience working with someone that I can laugh with and learn from and love, and it's just a beautiful combination of what we love to do in the Shillit group, in the Shillit family, is learn, laugh, and love. It's like,
absolutely.
Some of us are hippies and some of us aren't, but that's okay. So yeah, I will definitely be sharing your links underneath this video. You'll just send me all the links for all this information, because what is your like ultimate goal with what you do?
With what I do, I mean, I basically want to help set as many people financially free as possible, and that started with the home ed guys, but it will expand outwards. It's going to with freedom families anyway. So, and the goal is just to introduce people to the blockchain, help them through that initial kind of overwhelm, because it is an overwhelming space when you first step into it. Moira always says it's like drinking from a fire hose. There's so much information. And so the point of being here is to help people and to guide them through that, so they sort of don't get overwhelmed, or if they feel overwhelmed, they can come and talk to us. and then just help them get them set up on these platforms that can help, get them earning this passive income. Keep getting them coming to the free workshops, just keep getting them educated, and eventually, the penny drops. And it is, the same for all of us. I mean, God, 4 years ago, there was nothing really around like this. There was nowhere really to turn, and certainly not free education on it,
Yeah.
So,
paid a boatload for anything.
And DeFi didn't exist, and I don't think it existed at all. It's certainly not in the way it does now with all the opportunities that we have.
Yeah.
So, and it moves so fast, the space. There's something new pretty much every day, it seems. So, keeping on top of that is a trick in itself. But no, basically we want to help as many people as possible become financially sovereign, to give them those choices, help them live their lives, and away from the systems that we know are crumbling, that we know are designed to keep us as debt slaves.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to point out a key thing that you said: free education. First of all, you're not paying me to be here. I'm not paying you to be here. We don't have any financial gain from, collaborating. And this is the beautiful thing about, you give and you get, and we want to encourage people to get your education, because once they start with education, maybe they want to go into the deeper education, maybe they don't, but that's okay.
No, exactly, and that's the point. People come along to the workshops, you see them for a few weeks and they disappear, and you're never quite sure if they've gone and done more stuff, or if they, and if they've gone and done more stuff, brilliant. If they haven't, well, it's a shame. Hopefully they'll come circle back to it at a certain point in time. We're not following people up, blasting emails at them, and come by this, come by that. It's like, okay, we're here, we know where to find us. Come find us.
And that's what one thing I really, really love to bring up is that you guys aren't all about the schmooze. It's like, there are other projects, other platforms, other tokens, other, always going to be something similar to what we do. And the people are always saying, well, what's your marketing plan? What's your marketing plan? But what we have really focused on is organic growth, because we're non-schmoozers. We don't like schmoozers. Because the hype creates the
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at the way the token's going, it's going the right way.
I mean, when we say to the moon, we know where we're going, and we're steadily getting there. And when people have the, they see the big candles going down and they're like all freaking out, and then they sell, but then they come back a week later, like, what the actual hell? Because it's way up here.
Exactly.
So
that's fantastic.
Okay, so I have actually, Sasha gave me some questions that he wanted to ask you, and so I'm going to ask you some questions. So, what is this anonymity concept that comes with decentralization? Because there's a lot of teams that are doxed and non-doxed. There's a lot of anonymity in the crypto space. So, what do you think about that?
Okay, I mean, when it comes to that, sometimes teams aren't doxed because these are guys that are maybe working for a company, maybe another crypto company. They're developing this on the side, and so they don't want to be named. All right, they don't want to be seen because it can affect their job, and if things go wrong, then blah blah blah. On the other side of that, of course, there are people that don't want to be seen because it's going to be a rug pull or a honeypot, and they're just plain dishonest. But there are also plenty of people out there that are developing stuff on the side and don't necessarily want their employers or their colleagues knowing about it. So I think that's a bit of an issue,
Okay, I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you, about the whole working for another company while you're okay, I got that. Okay, good point. So let's say, I mean, and the next question is should or shouldn't projects show who the teams are? What's your should or shouldn't? What's your opinion of them showing their us? So I mean, we're super transparent.
Absolutely should. I mean, you need that transparency. If you're going to trust a project, you need that transparency. People, people buy people. Okay, so people see you and they either like you or they don't. I mean, what's not to like? Honestly, in my opinion. But yeah, it's it's just a case of, I think, you know, it's really important to be able to see who's behind the project. And if you can't see them, I mean, regardless of how great it looks, for me, it's a big red flag. Honestly, I know there are reasons why people don't want to be visible, but it's a huge red flag, because it indicates they, you know, why don't they want to be seen? It just sets you thinking a bit. So absolutely, you know, the dev team should be there, and all the more so if they've got sort of past successful projects, or, you know, it's nice to be able to see who's involved, because if they've been involved in past successes, then, you know, you gives you an indication maybe of how this project's going to go. And so for me, I think,
or if they've been part of like some serious dives too, it's nice to know where they come from.
Exactly,
okay. So governments want to regulate the DeFi space. Do you think this is really possible?
I don't. No, honestly, I mean, the only way they can kind of regulate crypto is at the point of entry, i.e. when you buy on an exchange, or at the point of exit, where you're exchanging back to fiat to make purchases, or they can make it very hard for you to spend whatever crypto you have. But the bit in the middle, I mean, it's, you know, it's decentralized. I mean, by its very nature, it's nearly impossible to regulate everything that goes on in between. You know, this is the benefit over the centralized banking system, whereby, you know, everything goes into one area and then it has to come back out again. And then the banks take their cuts, and they can, I mean, it absolutely blows my mind that banks are, in a sense it does, but it doesn't, that banks are stopping people from purchasing from crypto exchanges. I mean, it's, you know, it's your money. God's sake, it's your money, and they're telling you how you can spend it. I mean, if this doesn't tell you what you need to know about the centralized banking system, and the control they have, then you know. So back to the question, I don't think they'll never fully regulate it. The genie's out of the bottle, and there's too much out there now. There's so many platforms, there's so many coins,
and there are more coming.
I think they dropped the ball on it a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I think they're scrabbling to catch up.
Good.
You know, with the central bank digital currencies and stuff, I mean, I wouldn't be going anywhere near any of those. But they're an Orwellian nightmare, honestly, because they'll be based on smart contracts, and the government will be able to determine what you spend your money on, what you can and can't spend it on. You know, if they fine you for something, they can just remove it at source. I mean, it's just awful.
I know. I mean, if y'all lived in Canada, let's see what's going on over here. I don't even want to get on that subject, but anyway, okay. So isn't it in the end more education and regulation? Is it okay? I'm just trying to. Isn't it in the end more DeFi education rather than regulation that is needed?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, what's regulation actually going to do at the end of the day? I mean, regulation from governments is just going to stifle innovation. It's what it's designed to do. You're far better off educating people at source, and teaching them how to get into the space safely, what to look for, how to research, you know, and then how to get into these projects safely, you know, to be diversified, to not put too much money in, and all these things that are so important in the space. But education, absolutely, every time.
Absolutely. I mean, go ahead.
I mean, it's doing pretty well as it is at the moment, and it's pretty unregulated, you know, and the space, I think it's finding its way, and I think there'll be an element of self-regulation, like what you're doing with Shillit. Honestly, it's a form of regulation. You're trying to teach people and educate them as to, you know, which pre-sales are safe to get into, and that is a form. You know, this is DeFi regulating itself almost. You know, you guys are there, and you're saying to people, okay, well, that, you know, that looks like it's going to be a problem. Stay away from that. This looks pretty sound. Go away and look at it anyway. Do your own research, but we think it's good. And you know, so you're almost regulating it yourselves there.
So, you know, and as you probably know from me already, is I love following rules and regulations. Anyway, just saying. So okay, and you know, it's really important that people keep that in mind, that Always do your own research, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being educated on how to find projects. The Shillit platform is created for you to have a space to, you know, start, and always do your own research. This is what, you know, Richard and his team and family and co-creators are also doing, is
coaches.
it's educating, is helping people get the opportunity to do your own research and learn and stuff. So yeah, I'm really thankful and grateful to have you on here today, Richard. I'm just going to, is there any last words that you want to share with us today before I go to the updates and then cut you off?
Yeah, no, I would just say to people, you know, what we've been saying all the way through this is, if you're looking at getting into this space, you know, education up front, first and foremost, every single time. You know, learn what the space is about, learn what the projects are, learn what the platforms are. You know, even if on Shillit they're saying this coin is safe, don't just take their word for it. You know, as Sean says, put your big girl and boy pants on. You know, if it goes wrong, it's all about self-responsibility as well. You know, you're taking responsibility for your own wealth. So, you know, act like you are, you know, and do it properly.
Yeah. It's, I just have to say this. So I went to see a freedom fighter speech yesterday, and he's one of the most hated people in Canada from the government. And he said basically that exact same thing. It's like, do your own work. He's not here to save us. He's not here to, you know, like help keep our freedom. We all have to do our own research. So in the crypto space, in your own life, always take responsibility for your life. And I mean, this absolutely is, you know, it's an important, and one of the biggest changes for me in my life has been when I started to really honor myself and take responsibility for my actions, and base my life more on integrity instead of the next quick thing, or the money factor, the business factor. And the less I worry about money, I'm not kidding, the more I get. It's like, holy crap, you know, it's like, wow.
It's an interesting energy, isn't it? Money.
It is. It's amazing.
It's just,
It's like, I'm not worried about the money. It's like, oh my gosh, I got like a few more zeros on there than I thought I did, you know?
Exactly. And it's the whole responsibility thing, you know, it is possible to become your own bank. I mean, that's what this space will enable you to do. But with that does come the responsibility. So, you know, break both hands, and if you screw up, it's on you. You know, so all the more reason to go out there and learn how to do it properly.
Get educated. Get educated and be integral, you know, like just base yourself on honesty, and you'll get more honest things in your life. It's just
exactly.
Karma is awesome. Awesome, Richard. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off with today's updates of Shillitland, because I went off on a bit of a tangent.
I look forward to hearing them.
Okay, so guys, we have the launch of our version 1.0 tomorrow. This is why Alessio has not been very active on the Telegram group or in the Zoom calls with Thrive Tribes and everything. Him and Ravi have been working very hard on that. We have our vetters in the background. I can't even keep up with how many we have growing there. They are vetting the projects to put on our platform, on the new one, because it's all about us working for you guys. And this is the beautiful thing. If you're not holding SHILL, I don't know what to say about that other than, why aren't you holding SHILL? Like, for real. I showed my chart, guys. I have bought every previous all-time high. I bought in. Why? Because I was not worried about where it's going. I know where this is going, and I'm definitely right. I'm sorry. Here's my ego again, my pride bubble. I know I'm right on this one. So but also the fact is, if you're not holding SHILL, you know, bueno access to my platform. You know what I'm saying? So in order to use the platform, you have to hold SHILL. Very important. And there's tiers, levels, and as we grow, you'll learn, and we'll share all that information later. The contest winners for last week, great job. Surprise, Abdul, you were the first place winner again. Shocker. That guy is like hardcore into shilling us and YouTubing, comment us. We love your energy. And then we had, there was a lot of other people that were in there. So we randomly picked up 2 other people, and they are Prince from Nigeria. And I have no idea who this person is because it's in their ID is their Telegram ID. Regardless, they also won. So we will be airdropping their tokens this week. And I have a new screen that's really high. So I'm trying to not look so obvious that I'm looking at my other screen. Yeah. So OMG guys, just so you know, did you see Halloween Day? Did you see our charts? Richard, did you see our chart? I mean, you were dealing with flooding. But
no,
it was like
sneaking off really often.
You know? And here's the beautiful thing, guys. We created a new ground floor. And from that new ground floor is going to create another oomph. So it's a beautiful, beautiful chart. Halloween Day, people are like, Sundays are usually when crypto is crap. Not for us Shillians, just saying. Okay, so this is just to prepare for the next big wave that's coming. The mimic contest for Halloween, guys. Cutoff is was last night at midnight. I finally got a way. It took me, I'm not kidding, a few hours to figure out how to make a poll for you guys to vote on the top 10 that we chose. And it was a headache and a half because, you know, one platform would only take images and one wouldn't take GIFs. And I'm just like, oh, this is killing me. So I just did the good old Google Forms, and you have to click on the link to see what you want. It's on the Twitter feed. It is what it is. I did the best that I could. It was midnight. Okay. So back off. Just kidding. Anyway, so please vote for it. We're cutting that off, the voting today. This is the midnight tonight, or whatever time I feel like going to bed in Pacific Coast time, is when the contest will close for the poll. And then we will announce the winners and airdrop the winners on my next show. The next contest, you guys, if you want to do, thanks, Karsten, and thanks, Tiggs. If you guys want to do another meme contest, not Halloween based, but we have so much fun with the memes, just saying. So if you guys want to do another contest, let me know, because we have another contest coming up. We'll announce it in my next show. And I wanted to, one more thing. Yeah. So I wanted to I wanted to do this live because this was effort from Raj, or mimicking, and I'm going to share my screen, because this was a brilliant way to show what our community thinks about frauds. So, oh, I can't, where did the Zoom go? I can't see anything. Can you see this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it took over the whole screen. So I'm just going to, where is the thingy? Okay, sometimes, how can I share the audio? Oh, sound share. Okay, please work. Okay, so can you hear it? Oh no, I can't even hear it. Can you hear that? Okay, I'll start again. Okay, so anyway, this is just a really quick video that Raj made. Okay, great way to end the show. So yeah. Was that awesome? Raj did that, and he did it in, like, I don't know, a short time. So this is how to stop sharing, stop screen. This is a great way to end the show, but I just wanted to let you know, this is what our community is all about. Yeah, it's awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, amazing.
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks a lot, great to have me here.
All right, well, we will see you on the next tribe call, and I'll make sure that all your links are below, And thank you so much again for spending this time with me. And I'm glad that your house is going back to normal.
Thank you very